So, okay. So, I will be calling the meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, November 2nd at 4:40 p.m. On 619 Reynolds Street. Can we have the
do we have our President Tracy King,
present?
Vice President Jean Benmares,
Present.
Secretary Jackie Sutton, present, Treasurer Leslie Adame, Mejia, present, Mayra Hernandez, I don't hear present, so she's absent, Kenny Duncan,
Here.
I don't hear present, so she's absent, Vianney Ramirez,
From last meeting?
So moved. I make a motion to approve meeting, minutes from last meeting.
All's in favor?
Yeah, all those in favor? There you go. Say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes to approve those minutes.
So we have KTV Board President, Mr. Tony Anson here. I believe he's not.
And again, I said I'll participate in most of the meetings that you all have. Just 2 months into the president of Keep Texas Beautiful, so trying to learn there, see where we can apply any programs that are implemented there, or any other initiatives that we can take advantage of, and I'll definitely keep. Again, we look forward to being with this group going forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The review of one-time amendment to bylaws for extension of term service.
Madam President, that was the issue, the email, I think that was sent to us in the packet, right?
Yeah.
It couldn't be here?
So let me just elaborate on that. So I just wanted to kind of get a timeline of when in-person meetings were suspended by the city, a date for that, and then a date where we could say that in-person meetings were back on. So for the suspension of in-person meetings, I found this memo by the city manager on July 6, 2020, effective 8 a.m. He was suspending the in-person meetings for all city commissions, city organizations, anything like that. And so this is trying really hard to find maybe an ordinance or something where it was communicated that in-person meetings were back on. But the only thing I was really able to find was this email from Blasita. It was sent to all of you, just letting you know about an event that we were having, where she was stating that in-person events and meetings were back on. And so in the email, she attached a screenshot of an ordinance. I couldn't find it for the life of me, but it does state that in-person meetings were back on. And so the suspension started for in-person meetings was on July 6th, and then this email from Blasita is from March 25, 2021. So it's about an 11-month period where we didn't have any meetings. Our first board meeting after, like when this was communicated, was in June 29. So it was even more than 11 months. It was about a 3-month period after that email was sent from Blasita to when we had our first in-person board meeting back. after the pandemic. So that would be a total of around 14 months, so a little bit over a year. But it is up to you. We did make sure with city attorneys that whatever time period you guys decide on is what is going to be put on the bylaws. But that would be up to the board to decide on what is the period that you would like to extend for all of you. And also, I know that Mr. Kenny Duncan, he joined us in August of this year. So it's also a matter of if you guys would like to also give the extension to him, if it applies to everybody, or is it with the exception of Kenny Duncan? And so Ale here, Alejandra, she's our newest staff member at KOB. She was kind enough to help me figure out kind of like a timeline for everybody if you were to decide on a 6-month extension or a 1-year extension. Again, it's up to you. It doesn't have to an idea of what the timeline would look like if you guys decide on an extension of this many months.
Does anyone have any suggestions how long we extend?
I did have one question, Madam President. At this time, none of these appointments are driven by council or mayor appointees. These are all either volunteers.
Correct,
or
volunteer, yes.
So if their terms end, it doesn't really impact our abilities to stay on the board. So I would think that if we've missed the almost a personal response from board member Duncan if he wants to remain the additional year, although he was not necessarily affected by the suspension of the meetings. But it's your call if you want to have the extra year.
Adding on to what Gino said, and I mentioned this the last time when we met, my only issue with that, with not extending mine, would be if we look at the 1-year terms, they're 2 months before mine ends, my term ends. Because that means there's nobody going to be there except for one guy.
With any continuity, right?
Exactly. With any
If we
continuity.
decide.
Feels, I mean, I'm cool with it, I'm okay with it, I'd love to stay on as long as I can, and I'm okay with it. Again, it goes back to what I said at that time also, we need to have some staggering in there also. Because when you have an entire board that leaves at the same time, that continuity is gone. And so that's, maybe half 6 months, half a year. I don't know, I'm just trying to say for the future, for everybody else, where's that continuity going to be if everybody leaves at the same time? And that's not just for the board right now, it's for the boards in the future. How is that going to affect everybody?
Well, I mean, I think this was the only issue because of the pandemic. I mean, I don't think after this time it shouldn't
No, but
be.
even 515, 522, 63, 515, 69, 513, all in 2022.
It's because it was dependent on when they.
When everybody was put in,
Right.
I understand that.
The board back up. So like the issue that had happened was that KOB before Blasita came in was inactive for a couple of years. I don't know what the exact time period was, but I know that Ms. Lynn Nava left KOB, and then several years later Blasita came on board. And so during those times during that time that KOB was inactive, we didn't have a board, we didn't have events, we didn't have anybody running KOB. And so we had to start from scratch in building a board, and so that's why the timeline for everybody is the
all
same.
in the same year.
Yeah, because everybody was recruited in the same time. So that's why in this pretty much in the same time, because they were all pretty much recruited in the same time. But I mean, hoping that now that we're picking things back up and that in-person meetings are back on, we are able to recruit more board members, and we have that staggering that you're seeing, so that, like you said, not everybody leaves at once, and that we continue to have a flow of people coming in.
I think my suggestion on that would, maybe keeping what you're saying, that we start it now then. Say, okay, half at 6 months, half at a year. That way we already have I mean, that's just my opinion, but I'm cool with whatever, I'm okay with whatever y'all like to do. But that's just my opinion. Just put some at 6, put half at 6 and half at a year, and you already start your stagger there.
So do you mean like for this specific group have
Yes.
half of them 6 months, half of them a year?
That's my, yes, that would be my opinion on that, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's up to you all to decide what you would like to do in regards to that. I'm just here to provide information.
No, of course.
And decide that, and we can make those changes on the bylaws. But it's a discussion up to you.
Because I think I thought we weren't in agreement that we were gonna extend the year. So then, would you rather not extend your year?
I don't mind at all. I don't mind at all. No, it doesn't bother me any.
Because I think we agreed that we were going to be for the 12 months, right?
I guess one option was either all of us extend to 1 year, but then he's saying, well, what about the staggering in case we all leave at the same time? So he suggests some of us do half a year and then the other year, but then I liked what Lucy brought up as to if we recruit more people, then once we leave, people
would
will be
already be
here.
here, yeah.
So I think it's option A, 6 months, and some people do a year, or option B, we keep the year and recruit.
What is the board size? What's the limit on the board size? There is no board size, right?
It says section 1, the number to not to exceed 15 or less than 9, and so right now we're at 7.
Okay.
So we can
There's plenty of room.
And I do have someone interested, it's just. So for sure.
Yeah, I mean, so if she's interested, we can definitely have her on board, and I would just need to check the process. I remember some of it, but I would need to check.
Then I'll go ahead and give you that information.
Yeah, you can send it to me, and we can definitely bring her on, because we would love to have more board members. We can have up to 15, so if you know anybody that would be interested in joining the board, yes, I definitely.
Get that 6 months, they can go ahead and just, it's like a formal request, right, where they just want to leave. Is there like a formal?
For new board members, or?
For us, like let's say, because,
No, because I think because it's additional time, I don't think it matters. Year to make up for what we've lost, but technically we would have already been out like coming up in May. So this is just extra time.
I'm fine with.
We'll have another 9 positions still to fill, to reach our maximum, to recruit people. The process doesn't, requires the city manager making that appointment, so someone who wants to name to the city manager makes the approval, and then we process them here at that.
Yeah, they will get sworn in.
Get sworn in.
City secretary.
Okay, so what I'm reading here is that there's no mechanism we don't recruit enough, and our terms begin to expire, and some of us, to help out the group, say, I'll stay on for another 6 months or a year. There's nothing in the bylaws.
Right, okay.
Until that. Or just continue on as is.
If the person wants to, they would petition the city manager for reappointment.
Okay.
So if it's not bylaws, to add that one additional caveat, that if a board member, after the expiration of his term, seeks to stay on the board, then he can petition the city manager. Right?
Yeah,
There's no mention of reappointment,
reappointment, right?
right? Especially if he's working in conjunction with I work really close with this council member for his district, and I want to put on these projects. Council member, has a lot of requests for him. He may want to stay on board. Council member, they could work in conjunction with him.
I remember when Blasita presented the list, because I watched that council meeting, she presented the list of the board members, and I believe one council member asked, oh, how were these people chosen, and are they in different districts? I mean, that's something that can also come up, that that someone can mention maybe their assistants, or they can also recruit and help and see who they want from their district, so they can reach out to us. Like we're District 2, me and Jackie actually, and I'm sure everyone's in different districts, but so that it could be that fair, equal opportunity representation. So maybe that can be also something that during this 1 year additional not appointed, but recommended by a council member, so that they also know, oh yes, my recommended KLB member, so that they can feel that they have that input, because I feel that they may not, because they did question, I remember the names on there. So, and I remember during this year, we can actually, I don't know if you will or someone reach out to all of them and then see maybe ideas of who they nominate or recommend.
Yeah, I love that idea. I can definitely reach out to them and see if they want to recommend somebody.
Before, so they can get a gist of it and everything before. Yeah, totally.
Do you know how other community keep Laredo City groups are structured? Have you all ever studied other cities to see if they're structured with city appointments?
Can you find out for like Keep Boston Beautiful and all
the affiliates. I just don't know.
Definitely.
At least, so when you go back to the city, say we're following these models, or we don't like these models. But I know, that's our affiliate program. Like, this is an affiliate. I can definitely look how it is structured.
Yes. Hey, John.
Help understand how this entity wants to go forward.
I like that idea. We definitely, we've gone to like seminars, it was kind of a little harder to do that, but definitely now that it's back on, we can definitely start looking at that information and seeing how we try to adopt those.
Kind of mirror what they're doing, but obviously if it's, so it won't be too political, they can recommend, so they won't have to ask for a question like, are all these board members in district?
Have something for the next week.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great resource.
Definitely. So then, okay, did we agree on the extension of 1 year?
So that would be my motion, from August 2021 back to May of 2020, that they're
All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign?
It's sort of the top 5, right? Or top 6. I just want to clarify that. Okay.
Yes. So you also get the year extension.
Oh, geez, no.
Okay, so review of specific amount of time lost due to COVID.
We basically
We did
covered
that.
That's the same.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
What is the status of?
Looking at the attendance sheet, area. Absent June 30th, absent August 3rd, absent August. I don't know if she's reached out to Lucy or responsive and 4 absences. Same goes with DNA Ramirez. We have 4 absences. Has she reached out to you?
She was responsible.
Mayra Hernandez, she has been responsive. She actually accepted the didn't show up. So
No, sure.
I think that she's interested. I'm just not sure.
We've been fine. Leslie Adame, is she?
No.
August 3rd. Has she reached out to you since she was going to be absent today?
But I know she's treasurer and she's usually
So if we were to and apply them retroactively, then she was responsible. Prepare to adopt these. Then we could lose up to 3 board members, right?
The bylaw.
That's the bylaw.
Use 4.
Then you'd lose the first. And
Mayra Hernandez, the no-shows for the past 2. She confirmed the no-shows.
Okay, so that would be Leslie and Myra, right?
Mhm.
Non-responsive and not showing the no
But
interest.
since
No interest.
And have we
last year?
since the beginning they never took their oath. They never.
Oh, okay.
Oh, then-
So then-
So those yeah. Myra Hernandez and Miss Leslie Adame have been more responsive. They just haven't.
Did they take the oath?
Yes, both of them. They've been-
If we decide, would it be possible, would it be appropriate, Madam President, to adopt the articles and then trigger a email to them or a letter to them saying, under the new rules, rather than trying to do it retroactively, because we're going to lose the 2 who took their oath, so they're really not board members.
Right.
And that would put us in a position to at least give them a fair opportunity to acknowledge the new rules, the new articles, and if they don't,
At least we sent that, I guess, notice.
give them a fair warning that we've adopted the new rules.
Okay, so they're letting them know that like after this meeting, if they're absent once more, they're removed or.
That they have, that the articles now trigger a 3 absence automatic forfeiture. So that they could
They
miss.
can miss 3 more meetings, in other words.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And at that point, if they do, then they've lost their spot automatically.
Kind of forgiving what they've heard, what's happened right now,
Right, it's
yes.
a clean slate, because it's a new set of articles that are being adopted.
The new articles.
So that they knew exactly what the discussion was, what transpired that led us to sending them a letter.
So we haven't adopted the bylaws yet, right?
I don't think we've had it for,
So now we have a quorum, but the way the agenda's it's a review of amendment to bylaws to allow virtual meetings attendance, creation subcommittee, the staff reports.
what's this? Discussion with possible action.
Discussion of possible action on the following items. Review. We took action on that. We read the review on the specific time loss and applied it to the action we took on the first item. Bylaws to allow virtual meeting attendance. The agenda doesn't actually speak next meeting.
Okay.
Can we add that for the next meeting?
Yeah.
The, approval? Approval of the bylaws?
City attorneys and ask about adding the extension. So then that, I think,
Review, approval, and adoption of the bylaws.
Yes.
As the action item.
And adoption, right. On board
They're not
because
on board.
they
They're taking their
didn't.
oath.
They never took
Take
their
their
oath,
vote.
so they weren't even. They weren't sworn in as members.
Right, and for those that haven't been responsive, we have an idea of what we want to do.
Okay, plan.
But the adoption of the articles.
after the next meeting, right? Once you approve the bylaws, then I can send them the letter letting them work.
With the bylaws.
Yeah, just, I would give them a fair heads up.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the meeting notice for next month, I would definitely do that.
Also let them know that
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Okay. And the review of amendment to bylaws to allow virtual meeting attendance. So
I did see that one.
Mhm.
Let me see, if possible.
Was there an issue? That board no longer allows for virtual meetings. They're all in person. And so if that's gone, will legally approve us having actually vote on items.
Okay, so I remember the conversation right now. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he said under
open
yeah under Thomas. I remember he said that I couldn't remember what the quorum there is that the governor allowed for there to be a hybrid option.
Quorum in person.
I think John has the answer to that because I think when he read it last time, he told me, wait, I don't think you all. But I mean, do we want to do that, meet virtually, or can we just have everyone just meet face to
Well, we
face?
happens again, then we can go back to
Can
it.
we meet virtually?
So
That's-
what
I think that's the
he,
discussion.
what the assistant city attorney had said and make that call. So it can be made by us, we can put it on the bylaws, to constitute what a public emergency. And so what he was saying is that for now, what the governor has done is that they are allowing a hybrid option for if there is anybody, if we already have a quorum, and if there's anybody that can't make it, there would have to be some. I'm not gonna be able to come, but if there's enough, if there's gonna be enough people here to constitute a quorum, then
Members at that, or board members can at that point vote on items.
And maybe at some point, maybe I'll address that. You would want to put,
It's true.
when you get to that point, you know.
Yeah, I would
that's-
agree, because then it already falls back to the hybrid, pretty soon.
Choose to hybrid the same day.
Yeah. Because you have to have a quorum in person to trigger the hybrid.
So then,
Included, so that we have the rules spelled out.
I forgot why it was brought up. Did someone?
I think it's a slippery slope for us to have hybrids when the meetings are via teleconference has ever been permitted. For example, at the city council. And they phoned in that portion of the meeting. Have always needed to be present.
So
Yeah, the only thing that's in here right now is that I said videotape, and I just stated myself. You know, these cassettes, I don't know if you remember. It's a big
the
black
VHS, the VHS.
Beta max.
Used to record it on tape, put it in this machine, and then play it back.
It just says to broadcast.
I was saying, if you're gonna do a hybrid meeting, how are you gonna be able to broadcast that person in real time also, though?
Well, that would be something that you would have to,
Have to be able to set up.
which they do. I mean, they've got a PTZ camera, and I think they also have an owl that they share amongst the IT departments and they can bring in and send to the table. But again, that just point, you're going to have more people wanting to be hybrid, and then you don't have a quorum, and you can't have a hybrid.
Yeah, just have to be in person. I agree.
So,
I think-
and if there's ever an issue with the pandemic, the governor's going to make that call.
He's gonna make the.
Because of TOMA. The way I like to phrase it is TOMA. Because you get in trouble for that, you know,
Yes.
but you don't follow the rules.
Right.
TOMA, you want to.
Disallowing virtual meetings.
I would think so. I think that would be a
Then
for it.
I would like to make a motion, under the review of an amendment by bylaws to allow virtual meetings. My motion is
Favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passes to disallow
Disallow.
virtual meetings.
I like that idea.
What subcommittees do we want to create, Madam Chair?
Wasn't it,
There was-
didn't we discuss like, kids?
There was a conversation that was being had also during one of the meetings to have a good
About,
subcommittee.
understanding why this behavior is happening. So we were talking about the behavior as to parts as to why the kids feel it's okay to throw that water bottle on next to the trash can. And so we were talking about getting board members, like high school students maybe, and so they can have a voice as well. I think that's what the discussion was about.
I do remember that.
And I remember that discussion some time back, but I think
Me
there was also that are specific to a cleanup or to fundraising committee, some other type of committee. That I think at the time was talked about having each of the board members take on a certain committee, either for fundraising or for I don't know, at this point, there's just not enough board members for us to create committees. I mean, we're at 15, I think, at that point, we
Right,
can
I
start
agree.
working on having some committees that could steer certain,
Subcommittees.
subcommittees, certain things that we could
I guess
work on.
let's get our ball moving before.
What y'all were talking about,
Yeah.
already have them named in place, like Jim was saying, for cleanup, for fundraising, for youth involvement, stuff like that, have them in place, so to speak, but already have them ready to go. When we have that 15, then boom,
Yes.
you're here, you're here, you're here, you're here. Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds good. So is there a motion to?
We recruit some additional board members, and we revisit the item of creating subcommittees.
So we're gonna table it.
So table it. Motion to table the item for creation of subcommittees.
Second that motion.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes to table the creation of subcommittees. And then we have staff.
Okay, I'm just running in quick. So we had a pretty good month. Well, October was a pretty good month. We were pretty busy. The sorority in Tammany called Delta Zoo New, and they did a cleanup at Slaughter Park. On October 23, we actually had 3 events that were happening at the same time. And had our own volunteers and all of that. That was Make a Difference Day. So for that day, we had over 300 volunteers. We had TAMU volunteers, the general public, and also Rotarians that showed up for that day. Not the updated one. We actually cleaned up 21 tons of waste and debris that day. So it was a really, really good turnout, and we did a lot of awesome work in that event. So we're really, really proud. And actually, we got recognized yesterday at the city council meeting. So I just wanted to show y'all the certificate that we got
Very cool.
for the Las Palmas cleanup that we had. So let me just read what it says. So it says the mayor and city council hereby recognizes environmental / Make a Difference Day Day at Las Palmas Nature Trail, Laredo's first birding sanctuary and natural landmark, such a success. The commitment and dedication of on Saturday, October 23, 2021. So, yeah, it was a partnership between the city, Councilmember Cigarroa. We also had support from Solid Waste, Public Works, and TAMIU, RISC, and the Laredo Rotary. And so, with the help of everybody, it became a really huge event, and it was a very successful event, I think. So we're very, very proud of that. That same day, earlier and they did a cleanup at the Bartlett Park. They also had around, I think, 100 volunteers that showed up that morning, and they did their cleanup, which was provided from Keep Laredo Beautiful. And that same day as well, the Lamar Trail, and also with tools provided by Keep Laredo Beautiful. So there was a lot of cleanups. So we have the next scheduled partnership on November 13th. This is going to be phase 2 of the Las Palmas restoration, and this is going to be in partnership with the Rio Grande International. It's a continuation of Make a Difference Day. So Make a Difference Day happened at the Las Palmas Nature Trail, which is, like I had mentioned, the Laredo's first birding sanctuary, and was during Make a Difference Day, we cleaned out a lot of the palm fronds that were sitting in the trail. We cleared up the trail, and so the next part that's going a lot nicer, that it's a lot like a clearer trail for people to walk through, and so and they're going to be using that to line the path of the trail. So that is going to be phase 2, and so hopefully after phase 2, it should look a lot more nicer than what it used to look like. So. We're looking at November 20 is a possible cleanup event along with Councilmember Lisa Cigarroa, a cleanup at the Azteca neighborhood. So we're still in the process of working out the details and seeing how big this is going to be. But for now, it's just a conversation that we're having, and we're really excited. It's kind of like a celebration for that's some of the things that we have going on and that happened in the month of October. So we're very excited to continue. And if once we get these confirmations about calendar of events that you had been asking for, it's just that since I'm not sure if the November 21 is open to the public. And then the November 13 one, I think, is only between RISC volunteers and the Laredo Realtors Association. Their own group of volunteers is going to be working on that, as far as I know. But definitely let you know and invite you also that you can attend.
November 13th has nothing, then Keep Laredo Beautiful is not involved in November 13th?
We are providing tools for them to carry it out and stuff like that. So we are going to be a partner in that event. So that's she joined us a couple of weeks ago, so she's going to be helping me out with Keep Laredo Beautiful stuff. So we're very excited to have her, and she's been a tremendous help already. So.
Blowing me away, like she was just a quiet one. She's like, I'm just gonna take notes, and now she's running
read a lot. For sure, because I don't know, I wouldn't be able to run it like you do.
It's a little nerve-wracking and
Very cool.
Lucy, I do have one question. So all these events, thinking in the future, should there ever be an opportunity arise for a grant? And you know, sometimes these grants, if you're keeping track of that
Yes.
somewhere.
yeah. So for every single event that we provide tools or that we are a partner in, we are asking for number of volunteers. That stuff, like with the location, we have a data collection form that we send out to every single partner that we collaborate with. So also Keep Texas Beautiful ask us to give them that information. I guess here I'm just going off of memory. Right. Yeah, but we definitely have that information. It's just whenever I was writing the staff report, it was just like based off of memory, but have ever wonder what numbers we're doing or anything like that, you can definitely statistics and numbers. We have a really nice spreadsheet that we've been having for a couple of years now.
Random question.
One absent. It's also like.
Is it part of your?
That's why it was thrown in there. No, just.
That's why. Okay, just
Mom to miss mom.
random. The sparks.
Yeah.
So next meeting is when?
It's like January 1.
New Year, new
So
me.
we have next month in
I
December.
don't want to.
So need a resolution.
Don't miss anyone.
Go or go.
So you can send the reminder email.
So I can miss the next 2 meetings, that's what we're saying.
As long as we don't need December 9th through 12th, because I'll be in Vegas.
Okay, so
I start English 2 test, yeah, right.
we're leaving that day.
Okay, so items for the next meeting? The bylaws?
Review,
Yes.
approval, and adoption.
Yeah, review, approval,
That
and
is the
adoption.
primary.
That's the
item.
primary item.
And the next meeting date would be
The second.
Lucy. English one. December 7th. December
Just woke a sleeping giant.
This one is the giant.
Okay, so, motion to,
A year ago, I, Liquid Studio Group, offered to build Keep Laredo Beautiful, a brand new website. And it's been a struggle because Blasita was in and out, she was doing her digital marketing thing, but she built. It just lacks a little bit of content. And my staff member, Bella, is a UX, UI strategist. She's a user experience, user interface strategist. That's her background in college. But if you have time to visit with her, I'd like to be able to finish that and present to the board next month so
For
that
next
it
meeting?
launches. Yes. That we acquired and we maintain for the moment while it builds domain authority. but the city owns keeplaredobeautiful.org, which is their correct name. That's the team over at IT point the IP address to our, or the domain to our IP address, which is okay, because we didn't really want it to be live, we didn't really want it to be published yet until we had finished it. But it gave us give input, could go in and see it, right? So I think we're at a stage now where we really would like to have some more input now that Rosita's gone and she pictures that she sent us, but we've had to do some restyling. But I think we're almost ready for you guys to come in and just give us the last push. It just dawned on me, it'd be great to have a meter on there or something that says, this year so far we've collected
Volunteers, how many hours?
Just keeps going
how much
up.
money we've raised, if we're fundraising, all those kind of things, and have those displayed. Nice calendar that we've attached to it that allows us to create the flyers within the calendar, and then you can download the flyer. And then you can email if you wanted to. So these are all things that were brand new. If you look at the city's current Keep Laredo Beautiful website, compared
Yes,
to because it was built on a MacBook. And if you look at what we're building already, it looks completely different. There is some question, again, these are just my graphic designer. To the board at some point and request, because their comment was, our logo looks like a watermelon with a flower.
That's, yeah.
That new one, it was revamped, right?
Yes.
Because it was a cactus.
Logo that looks like it's a cactus, but the shape is so oblong that it looks like a watermelon with a flower on it. That way.
Yes.
So the staff was thinking, well, let me make some suggestions. Again, this is not anything that we're charging the organization for. We're like the organization, what it stands for, and so they're willing to do the work. And so if you guys want, I can have them present some additional
It's two already with that logo on.
That's true. But I
but it's
mean,
okay.
It's okay, Big Studio will pick up the cost for all the new ones.
And that's continuity of what you have because of the logo change will replace what you have. Right. So the table tents, if you have a big tent.
I know we need to get shirts. Because we're excited to clean up.
I printed it on a shirt, so.
I did.
Because it looked more like
Like
South
a
Texas, like
Right.
yeah.
So the design, as long as it's not too far off, or, do they still want to do, is it?
Keep Texas Beautiful has. Austin Beautiful, some of the others, they're very, very minimalistic. And maybe it has an element to it, but most of them don't. But it's purely what you all want to do. Maybe you're okay with that.
I don't know, if you want to bring the ideas of the logo, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, everything is, we're doing it.
You can do that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
But if you want to look at it, what it looks like right now, it's keeplaredobeautiful.com.
Okay.
And it's a live and active website, but just keep it on the live because we don't publish.
Yes, I'm familiar with it. So I guess for the next meeting, that doesn't need an action. Presentation.
As an agenda, presentation of the.
Presentation of,
Will you be
yes.
presenting next meeting also, Mr. Chocolate?
I might, I'll see if I can.
Yeah, just, not putting you on the spot or anything.
Do you want to, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So we can see how they choose their,
Organizational.
yes, structure.
Structures.
That's what she wants.
Yeah, let's put that.
Oh, God, let's make a motion to adjourn the meeting, sorry.
Motion carries to adjourn.